Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabel and I am the Starlight Witch. Today we're going to be doing a really fun tag by Angel at Feeding My Soul 1212, and this is Show Us Your Decks Again. Now, I had so much fun with the first bar that I actually did two different takes, one for tarot decks and one for oracle decks. So I was thrilled to see that she came up with more prompts and created a second tag. So, of course, I had to join. Now, this time I'm not really going to be doing two different videos, but I really love everything that I picked for this one. I'm gonna try and keep it shorter because I have been filming several videos today and I have been talking a lot. I am very much a chatty Cathy today, so I'm gonna try and move along quickly or somewhat quickly through this one. So let's get started with prompt number one, which is a deck with a quote inside of the box. Now, this is fairly common these days, although it did take me a while to think of one that I could um, get. So I came up with this one. This is the Self-Care Wisdom cards, a 52 card deck by Cheryl Richardson, and the art is by Joe Podmore, and this is published by Hay House. Sorry, long day. And the quote is, "What if being kind to yourself really could change everything?" And I really, really like these. I I am someone who struggles with perfectionism and who spent a great deal of time in my life trying to be um, little Miss Perfect, I guess we could say. So it's been not exactly easy for me to be kind to myself. It doesn't come naturally. So that quote really, I don't know, it's a good one. And I think it's something that we all need to be reminded of from time to time. Now, this is a mass market deck. It has really beautiful art. It doesn't have a guidebook, but that's because the message actually is in the back of the cards. It has a title or keyword, however you prefer to call it, at the front. In this case is release, and in the back it has the message. Sometimes the best way to grow is to simply let go. So this is a deck that I've really enjoyed using. Earlier this year I worked with it for a whole month, and I really enjoyed my time with it. I can see myself um, pulling this out from time to time, but especially when I need self care and whenever I need to remind myself to be nicer to me. But this does have messages that span um, through a lot of different ways of taking care of yourself. It's not just the pamper, but it has to do with self worth. Here you have authenticity. Live life for you, not the audience in your head. Like, how good is that? So, yeah, that are messages here for a lot of different things. So, this is definitely one that I very much enjoyed, and I'll be coming back to it, definitely. It feels more like a spring kind of deck. I worked with it in the spring. So, look at that. Let's actually read the message for these. The ability to suck it up is not a superpower. saying no is own your power. Like, how fucking cool is that? This is a great deck, actually. I really enjoyed working with it, and yep, I want to spread the love because I think that more people also need it. Um, Now we have a deck with a damage card or box in it, and I'm gonna go with the Animal Kin Oracle. I really like this one. This is a Marine made me do it, and well, unfortunately, I can say that I have many decks that have um, a damage box because unfortunately, not everyone takes great care of packing things when they send it, whether it be that I buy it used, which is, when I do get a lot of my decks secondhand, so that unfortunately happens fairly often. Um, but sometimes it also happens when it comes from businesses. This one is, um, I don't know if out of print is the right term, but it's not available on Hay House's website and it's not exactly very easy to find. Um, I got it on eBay from an Australian bookshop called the Nile, like the river in Egypt, and they sold it to me brand new. It was wrapped up in plastic, as all new decks tend to be. So I was very shocked to see that there is one card in this deck that actually came bent. Um, it must have been something that happened during production because it was perfectly wrapped and brand new, but whoever was handling these at the printers um, must have done that. And it was a big surprise for me because the deck was brand new. Let me see if I can find the card. I can't remember which one is the card now. But yeah, there is a card. I have been better prepared for these videos in the past, but I am decidedly not today. How annoying. Um, let's see. This is a very beautiful deck. I love just how colorful it is. The borders are incredible and they're kind of tie-dye looking and super colorful, which is one of my favorite things, is something that I love. Okay, I finally found it. This was brand new, so it did surprise me to see. It's not very clear on the video. I don't know if you can see that, but the card is actually bent here. It's bent like these. I don't know if I can show you, but the card is bent like all the way here. And I mean, I think you can kind of see it there. But yeah, it came like that. Brand new. So that was a bit of a shock for me, but it's not the end of the world. Blah, 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 blah. And I still love this deck. I really enjoyed working with it. It pairs really beautiful with the Dreaming Way Tarot. And I can see myself coming back to it many times. But I really, really enjoy it. Prompt number 3, a deck with one or several renamed cards. this is also fairly common these days, but I do want to show you this one. I'm very much in love with the bag that I made for it. And this is the Muse Tarot. This is by Chris Ann, and I really love this deck. I etched mine with a highlighter, and I think it's pretty, but I think I'm gonna redo it in pink. This is kind of coral, but yeah. This deck is just bright, colorful, super creative. I've showed it a few times already in my channel, and yeah, it's just a deck that I really love using, especially when it comes um, to creative readings. Um, but yeah, I do think it's a very wonderful deck. Now, these does have a number of renamed cards, especially with the chords, but also the suits are renamed. So, for example, we have the suit of wands, it becomes inspiration. The pentacles is materials. Focus, please. Thank you. The cups is emotions. And the swords is voices here. So, focus, please. Thank you. Good lord. And of course, we do have some renamed cards on the courts. The kings are all called the muses, and they are all horizontal, they're all landscape as well. They are the only landscape cards in the deck. That seems to bother a lot of people, and I understand why. Because I love this deck so much, it doesn't really bother me. Um, but yeah, I do know that it does bother a lot of other people. Look how beautiful this is. But it doesn't bother me that much. I do love the guidebooks by Chris Ann. I have worked with this deck before, of course, and I just love the work that Chris Ann does. All of the decks that she has made and I have worked with. I mean, the ones that I've worked with the most are the Sacred Creators Oracle and the Tarot of Curious Creatures. And her guidebooks are just fantastic. Look at this one. This is the world, and she called it the world cosmos. So, yeah, this is a wonderful deck. And her guidebooks really take it to new places. I haven't yet done any of the meditations or the things, the extra content that she has, because this is a fun fact. She has websites with extra materials for pretty much all of her decks, and she has activities and sometimes meditations and things that you can do, that is extra work, that you can do with her decks. And I have not really gone there yet, but everything that I've done with these decks so far, I've really enjoyed. Okay, prompt number 4, a deck with reversible backs. And for this one, I chose the Fairytale Tarot. This one is by Lisa Hunt and published by US Games. I am not someone um, that reads reversals. These are the backs. Look how beautiful they are. And of course, they are perfectly reversible. They're just gorgeous. I'm not someone um, that reads reversals. I don't shuffle them or anything. I do like to read um, the guidebooks and things that have like a reversed meaning or something. And I tend to use those kind of meanings when the cards fall into like challenging spread positions, or when the message just feels like it refers to a more shadowy aspect of the card, for example. But I don't shuffle reversals. I don't really do it that way. So having reversible backs is not something that I personally need, but it is nice, I suppose, for the people who do. And this deck just has really, really beautiful ones. My deck is still in order because I wanted to edge it before using it. I haven't worked with it yet, but it's definitely one that I'm gonna be playing with this year. I don't know yet when. I don't know when yet. Ugh, sorry. Brain is fried. It's been a busy day. But yes, I will definitely be playing with those cards before the end of the year. Now, prompt number 5, a deck with a star on the box. And for this one, I chose the True North Tarot. And it has this really beautiful holographic star on the top. This is an indie deck. It's published by Dark Moon Crystals and Prism and Fleur Studio. It's from 2021. And this is unfortunately out of print. There is, however, a similar version of this deck that is readily available, and I think it's mass market, and that is called the Wildlands Tarot. Um, because this deck is actually really interesting. The cards are not exactly square, but almost, and they resemble Polaroids. So it's really beautiful. These are the bags. They have the same star that the cover of the box does. And all of the titles are handwritten. They have beautiful pictures in the background and details in silver holographic foil. Um, the Wildlands Tarot is done in a very similar way, pretty much the same way. It's just that it has different images, and all of the names of the cards are handwritten and all different. And I really enjoy um, working with this deck. It has a rose petal finish, but I still manage to shuffle it easily. And this is another one that it's not the most obvious. It's not an RWS clone. So it does ask you to pay a little more attention to what is going on in the cards, to whatever you see on the images, so you can get the meaning that they're trying to convey. So it's one that I like to spend time with. rather than something that I would pull out for a quick rating. But it is a special one. I really love it. And yeah, if you like this one, you should definitely check out the one that is available because it has very similar characteristics than this one. Um, I just prefer this one than the other one, and I do have a little bit of a cheesy reason for that. Although I have seen walkthroughs of the newest one, and I prefer the images on this one. But also, I do love the folklore, the idea of the true north and the North Star. In fact, I named my second channel after it. So this one does feel more like me. And yeah, I think that this one is the one that I'm going to have from these particular creators. Okay, so prompt number 6: a deck with no or few people in the minors. And I'm gonna I'm gonna cheat a little and do this the easy way. And I'm gonna go for the Oriens Animal Tarot. So of course there are no people in the full in this deck or in any other card because this is an animal deck. But I really enjoy this deck. This is by Ambi Sun and it's published by Rockpool. I hear that this used to be indie, but I just have the mass market, and Rockpool doesn't really make that many. They haven't really published that many tarot decks, but the ones that they've done, um, I think they've done a really good job with them. This one, at least. These are the backs. They're really beautiful. They come etched in silver foiling. Beautiful. And then they have these beautiful, I mean, look at this guy. I love otters. Just look at this baby. Oh, these are all also very colorful jewel tones. I think that they look a little bit darker on camera than they are in person. Um, but yes, it's a really beautiful deck. Which, by the way, this is the full. And it's a little baby turtle coming out of his shell. And it's just the cutest. But yeah, this is a clear reader. The guidebook has all the information about the animals, why they were chosen for the card, um, and all that jazz. So even if you don't really, I mean, you don't really need to know anything about the animals to work with this deck. But if you want to learn a little bit more, then that information is definitely on the guidebook. This is the full size edition. Now there is a pocket version. I don't have that one, but I really do enjoy working with this deck. It's absolutely beautiful. I look at this Wheel of Fortune. That feels so very Egyptian. And I love Egyptian mythology. And there's a couple cards that have more colorful backgrounds, like that gorgeous otter and this Page of Wands. It's just such a beautiful deck. And it's still, it packs a punch. This is the Five of Pentacles. And you have that gorgeous polar bear on the melting ice caps in the Arctic, and it's heartbreaking. But look at this guy. It's a capybara. In Venezuela, we call them chigüires, and I love them. I love their resting bitch faces. They look like they're just done with your bullshit all the time, and I love that. Oh man. But yeah, this is the Oriens Animal deck, Oriens Animal Tarot, and it's a great one in my experience. I love reading with it. A deck that doesn't have a person in the full card. Now, why did I think that that was the previous one, which is why I showed you the full? Ugh, it's late. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm also going to cheat here. I'm going to show you the Boo Tarot. So, no, there aren't any um, people, there aren't any persons in this deck. This is an indie deck created by Celia Melville. I've etched mine in this beautiful periwinkle that I think goes beautifully with the backs. The backs have these gorgeous holographic foil, and it has the cutest little ghosts everywhere. Look at these four pentacles. That is awesome. The majors all have these glittery detail on the ghosts, and I love it. And this is just the cutest deck. I can't wait to pull it out on spooky season. But if I have to say something about this deck, is don't be fooled by its cuteness. Like, here's the fool. How cute. But yeah, pun not intended. Don't be fooled by its cuteness. This deck reads me to filth. Okay? This deck, it loves to call me out on all of my bullshit. It just loves to tell me, oh, you want to ignore this? No, you can't. It's here on your face, and I'm gonna wave it until you deal with it. So it calls me out. It just really does. It's the cutest thing, but it reads me to filth. Filth, I'm telling you. It's merciless. It's the cutest thing, but it's very merciless. It's just gorgeous. And look at this hangman. It's so fun to work with. It does have a bit of a bow, though. Um, I'm pretty sure that you've heard everybody complaining about that. um, but yeah, it came like that actually. It isn't even because of use or anything. It came like that. But, I still use it. I love it. It's ruthless, but so cute. Oh, so very cute. Then we have prop number 8, a deck with your favorite box design. Well, this is a tricky question. Um, I'm gonna go with this one, which is the Fantasy Night Theater Tarot. This is an indie deck. It's by US Star Wheel Games Systems, and it's a Chinese company. I have no idea why they decided to call themselves US Star Wheel when they're Chinese, but I'm, I'm, I'm not going to critique their decisions. This is the collector's edition of this deck. There are 3 different versions. There is a pocket, a classic, and this is the collector's. I have a walkthrough of this deck on my channel if you want to see it, but this is a rather big box. Like, here is the Boo Tarot for comparison. Should I let me zoom out a little bit? Okay. This is the Boo Tarot for comparison. So you can see here that this is a very big box, bigger than usual, and it has this little triangle thing really beautiful. But this is super cool because it opens up like this. Ta-da! Look at that. Just look at that. This lives in the future. It's so cool. It's not necessarily the most practical, but it's also not unpractical because I can just do this and take my deck. And it has foaming here, so they're all cozy and, it's just so original. And the designer in me actually loves this. So, again, it's not necessarily the most practical thing, but it's a good one. These are the bags, and I'm gonna show you just a few cards. It's, as you can see from the title, it is based on a theater. It has a limited and mostly warm color palette, I think. And it's such a beautiful card. This is from the same creators as the uh, Forest Imprint Tarot. That's not the proper name. I will put it on the screen. Magical Forest Imprint, something like that. But yeah, this is very, I don't know, it reminds me of the book The Night Circus, and it's just really beautiful. It has gold foil on the borders and the titles and the numbers of the majors, and it's really whimsical, which is something that I love. So, yes, I do love this deck, and that box design, awesome. So, so very original. It may not be the easiest thing to use, but it's also not complicated. Like there, and then boom, closed. It's gorgeous. Then, a deck you've made 180 degrees turnaround about. A deck that you may have anticipated but felt flat, or maybe you had lukewarm feelings but absolutely loved. And for this prompt, I chose the Final Rose Tarot. This is an indie deck and I think it's out of print, so I'm very sorry about that. This could have also gone on the damage box as bump, bump. Uh, I got this one secondhand, but thankfully I got a partial refund for those damages because, ugh, um, it's really cute. This is based on the TV show The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. These are the bags, and I love them. Oh, I love this deck. And this was a deck that I told myself I didn't need it for the longest time. Now, many years ago, and I mean like way more than 10 years ago, I did have a mild obsession with The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. But after discovering just how, I'm not exactly what the right word to describe them is, but those couples never last. Uh, it's just, it's just meh. Okay, those relationships, those couples, they never last. It's just a bunch of drama, and I got fed up. So I don't watch it. I haven't watched it since like season 5 of The Bachelor, and I'm completely uninterested on any of the dating shows that are everywhere. As someone who lives in the UK, I had a friend that once made me watch Love Island, and I hated it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you love it, but I hated it. It was a hard month of my life, and I don't want to know anything about Love Island ever again. But it has now expanded. It is, for what I hear, that is Love Island in the US, and there are like a bunch of dating shows on Netflix, like Love is Blind and other stuff like that. I have not watched any of that. I do not intend to watch any of that. But yeah, for that same reason, I told myself I didn't need this deck. It's cheesy, it's all based in a bunch of stuff that I just don't care for. But I actually love the art in this deck. It's so beautiful, and I love the colors. And I think that the theme is something that actually makes it different. It has little titles on the bottom. Of course, you have Miss USA. Yeah, because you always get a bunch of models and things like that on those shows. Um, but yeah, I couldn't stop thinking about how beautiful this deck is. So when I found it secondhand for a reasonable price, I decided to get it. The meathead, like that is so funny. They have renamed the suits. The roses. What are the roses are the wands. The rings are the pentacles. The flutes are the cups, and the mirrors are the swords. So this is the Knight of Swords, and is the meathead. This deck is funny. I'm gonna tell you that the Five of Cups, I fucked up. Sorry, I'm the worst. This deck is funny. It's just it's cheeky as well. This is the yeah. It's a fun reader. I'm gonna tell you that it's a fun reader. I don't care for the theme. I'm definitely not going to be watching any shows like that anymore. But this is a fun deck, and it was one that I didn't think I would like. I didn't think that this was for me, but you know, the art made me do it, and I actually really enjoy having it. It's a fun one. It's definitely a fun one, and yeah, eating my words because I actually really do enjoy it. It's cheeky. It's cheeky. It's fun. It's cool. That's the final rose tarot. Prompt number 10, a deck with an even major on the box. For this one, I've chosen the Curious Travels Tarot deck. This is the mass market edition. This used to be indie, but I don't have the indie. I have the mass market. This is by US Games, and the creator is Amelia Rosier. I'm so sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. um, but yeah, these, I guess, that depending on the system that you use, could be not necessarily fitting for the prompt, because the card that we see here is a strength, as you can imagine. Um, if you read RWS like I do, then that is number 8, aka an even number. And if you read Marseille or Thoth or something like that, then it would not be, because it would be number 11. But yeah, These are the bags. I've etched mine in this antique gold color, and you've probably noticed by now that I also trimmed them. They used to have borders, and I wasn't all too happy with those borders. So I decided to trim them. This is an extra card that it has. It's called the Travelers. Really pretty. All of the cards have these gorgeous gold foil details on them. They're really beautiful. I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about my trimming job. Um, the deck used to have a double border, like it had a thin white border and a bigger one. And when I started to mod it, I tried to trim it to the edge of the thin white border. Like you can see here on the titles that it does have like a little thin white border. And I tried that at the beginning, but I didn't do the best of jobs. I wasn't too precise with it. So it wasn't um, it wasn't as pretty as I wanted it to be, and it wasn't even. It was just not like great. So I then decided to trim all of the border, including the thin one, and because it was so thin, there wasn't a lot of room for error. So look at these four of wands. How pretty! This deck is just gorgeous, and I'm really happy that it's gone mass market. But yeah, the good thing is that this one is a mass market. The size, now that I've trimmed it, is a lot easier for me to handle with my tiny hands. And since it's mass market now, if I decide that I'm not cool with my trimming job, I can just get another copy and it won't be difficult or expensive. This used to be the cover of the indie one. How beautiful. It could have also worked that way because Temperance is an even major. But yeah, this is just a gorgeous deck. It now swims in the box because those borders used to be very thick. But yeah, here is the strength card. As you can see, here is number 8 because this is an RWS, and it does have this beautiful image. This is a gorgeous deck, and I'm very excited to have it. Look how big those cards used to be. It swims in the box now. Look at that. But yeah, I do enjoy this deck very much. Okay. Prompt number 11. A deck on your tarot storage area with a box title facing in the opposite direction from the others. And the one that I chose for these is the Tarot Moody. This is another indie deck. I'm not sure about the availability of this deck, but it is one that I really like. This is by the same creator of the newly released The Wells Can Save Us Oracle, which I also have. So I got this copy when I backed that Kickstarter. This is based on Tarot de Marseille, and it is this beautiful moon and star people, which I adore. It's still in order because I want to make a walkthrough. So um, yeah, I intended to do this during July, but I ran out of time for that. So I'm going to be doing that this month. But yeah, look how gorgeous this deck is. Because it's Marseille, it's very pippish. So the wands are these suns. They're really beautiful. Everything is hand illustrated with color pencils. This is gorgeous. These are the cups, which are crystal balls. How beautiful. I'm keeping it in order because, well, yeah, I want to to do that walkthrough. These are the bags. I don't think I showed them to you. The swords are these keys with eyes. How pretty are they? Maybe those eyes are a little creepy, but I do find these very cool, very original. And my favorite, the pentacles, are the stars. And they have all of these colorful ribbons. They're just beautiful. This is a really special deck. And it's one of the reasons why I want to learn Marseille so I can use it. Because there is a couple of Marseille decks and kind of pippish decks that I really want to. I just really love the art and I want to get them and I want to read them and just. But I'm not yet comfortable with pippish decks or reading Marseille. So, but yeah, this is the side and it is facing on the opposite way, not because I put it that way, but because, and this is a fun fact, so just because I like being a know-it-all, I'm going to give you a little fun fact, and that is that in Spanish, in Spain and Latin America, the text that is put on the spines of books, this also happens in books, not just on the decks, it goes on the opposite direction that English books and decks go. So for example, we have here the Fairytale Tarot. We have the cover. This is the back of the box. So yeah, um it doesn't have, I'm sure that this is the front. That's what I'm trying to say. So these are the fronts, and then when you turn them to the side, this one goes in a more logical direction for me because I've always thought that if you put it this way, then you can read the text on the sides without any issues. The same thing happens with books. Like if you have the book face up on a table or something, you could still read the text on the spine without an issue. But for a funny reason, they don't do that in Spain and Latin America. The text just goes the other way. So you would have to have it face down in order to be able to read the text on the spine. So I don't know why it is done that way, but this one has it like that. Just like every book and every deck that is produced in Spain or Latin America. And okay, 3 more to go. We have prompt number 12, a lonely deck, a deck you don't store with the others. I don't really have a deck that I store separately. Like, I do have a few decks in um, other spots. Like, I don't necessarily keep all of my decks in the same place, but I do have a few decks in other spots. But I don't really keep any deck on its own. Like, I have a few decks on my altar, but again, they are a few decks. There's like 2 or 3 on my altar. I don't really have a lonely deck. So instead, I'm going to show you these, which are the ones that I carry with me in my purse. This is the Everyday Witch Tarot, which is my favorite ever, but on its mini version. And of course, I have an oracle to go with it, which is the Spirit Animal Pocket Oracle. So this is the only Llewellyn mini that I have. It is a genuine one. And I got it, well, because it's my favorite deck. So I do want to have it with me pretty much at all times. But this is like very mini. Like I have tiny hands and this is really tiny. Because of that, it's not that very easy for me to shuffle, which is a shame. So I haven't really bought any more of Llewellyn's mini decks because they're not that easy for me to shuffle. Not really. You would think that they are because I have a small hands, but no, it's not that easy for me to shuffle these minis. I wish it was, but nope. But yeah, even these ones I have. Oh, sorry. I have them in a pair. I have them in company. I do love my oracle cards, so my tarot has its oracle pair. And this is a much more reasonable size. I You can tell the difference here. Like this is a pocket deck, and look at the tiny mini card here. That much smaller it is. Um, but yeah, this is much easier for me to handle. And I do love the way they look together. They rate together amazingly. So even these ones are a pair. I don't have any lonely wolves in my collection because I don't like them being lonely. So yeah, we have the Everyday Witch Tarot Mini and the Secret, no, the Spirit Animal Pocket Oracle. That's the one. Okay, now we have a deck you associate with the current season. Now, we are technically still on summer, in summer, whatever. But August to me feels a bit more like a transition month, somewhat of a liminal space, if you will. So it doesn't feel much like summer anymore. But I don't know, maybe it is because the fall is my favorite season and I always want summer to go away super fast so we can get into fall and winter, which are my favorites. Well, everyone, I'm so sorry. It's a whole new day, a whole different day. And what happened is that as I was editing this video to post it today, actually, I realized that the last three prompts did not save. I don't know what happened when I was filming, but the last bit of the video just did not, it disappeared completely. It was just not there. So I am refilming today. So if anything looks different, I'm sorry. But, my roses have dried and, it's, I'm trying to do my best here. So let me show you this deck. This is a Compendium of Witches Oracle by Natasha Ilinchik. I'm so sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. This used to be an indie deck, but it is now mass market. It is published by Los Carabeo. This is the edition that I have, the Los Carabeo one. But this is a very beautiful deck. The artist is the same from the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, and I really adore her art style. Look at that. It's just so beautiful. This deck comes basically separated into two different categories. So you have witches and you have their tools on another one. Um, when I use it, I tend to shuffle it all together, but I've seen that most people actually use the two separated. But I actually tend to mix it all together. I separated the two categories the first time that I filmed, but this is just a very, very beautiful deck. The creator, who is also the artist, actually made stories up for these witches, for these characters. So they all represent archetypes, but they all have backstories, and it's really, really interesting to read. I actually worked with this deck last year in tandem with the Tarot of the Witch's Garden and the Seed and Sickle Oracle, and they just pair beautifully. It does have some cards that leave you like, whoa. But I guess that's just a bonus of working with this deck. And, well, yeah, I tend to associate this with the current season because, well, at the time that I'm filming this, it is August. And perhaps it is because I don't really like summer. I'm not really a summer person. I hate the heat. I don't do well in heat. I want summer to be over even before it starts, which I know is going to sound wild to a lot of you, but it is what it is for me. So I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, is, you know, I just want this season to be over so we can get on with, hot chocolate, sweater season, the breeze, the cold, all the cozy things, the cinnamon rolls, just, yeah. And August is kind of the start of the end of summer. Summer is dying. So, this deck, I feel like it really shows that in the imagery. It still has rich colors, but they're dark toned. They're not as bright as other decks that I like to use during the summer, but it still has a lot of greenery. It still has a lot of things that say summer in it. Look at these, how beautiful is that? But I feel like it does see summer dying a little bit, which is great for me. But you can still see the summer. So it does kind of, this type of color palette does kind of um, represent summer dying for me. But yeah, this is a really beautiful deck. As it is published by Los Carabeo, it does have one of those guidebooks that has like 4 different languages in it. So I just wish that the information contained in the guidebook was a little bit more developed, a little bit more meaty. Um, but yeah, it's still really great to work with. Look at that. If this is not very McGonagall coded, I don't know what is. But I love that about it. How beautiful. So we actually had a look at the whole deck, and I highly recommend it. I've etched mine in these 2 different colors. So the tools are in gold and the witches are in green. I actually stole this idea from Kelly from the Truthing Story. But yes, I really like this deck, and it does represent the lovely death of summer for me. Okay, so prompt number 14, a deck in which your favorite animal makes an appearance. And I love animals in general, especially anything cute and fluffy, but my favorites are definitely cats. So I do have a number of cat decks, but I want to show you this one today. I've etched mine in blue, and a blue that I think goes really well with this deck. This is the Soul Cats Tarot. It's by Lisa Robertson and illustrated by Adam Ohlers. You know, that genius behind the Three Trees Tarot decks. And it's just such a beautiful one. These cats are just utterly magical. You'll find some that are all just normal kitties doing normal kitty stuff. Like the tower in this deck is actually hilarious. But you also find magical kitties, and I do love it for that. I mean, this this little cat. It's still, is not all sunshine and rainbows. I'm afraid it does have a couple of hard cards. But look at these. This guy is so happy. I love that. And this is a really beautiful deck. I also love these one. It does have a moody palette. I love all the blues. It has a squirrel and it has birds. Look at this guy with a hedgehog, and then you have like a greedy kitty, a banker kitty. I don't know. I just love it. It's such a beautiful deck. Look at this naughty baby. I don't know. I just like kitties. Look at the tower. I love this card. Just look at him being a bad boy. And that is a very normal thing to do. Fuck this shit. I love it. I do also love other animals. I used to have dogs, and I would like to have dogs again someday. I just don't have the space or um, the resources to have them right now. But I hope that someday I can also have doggies with me. I would also like to have rabbits. My mom never let me have rabbits. I want bunnies, okay? But if I have to choose any pet, it's always going to be kitties for me. If I am forced to choose. So, yeah, this is the gorgeous Soul Cats Tarot. This is published by Llewellyn, and it is written by Lisa Robertson. I do really like her guidebooks, and the art is by the awesome Adam Ohlers. So you just know it's gorgeous. Okay, and last but not least, we have a deck with a rainbow either in the box or in the cards. And I chose this oracle here. It's not completely, I mean, the deck is not complete in the box because I've been using it for my moon reading, so it's in my moon envelopes. But this is the Moonology Messages Oracle. This is by Yasmin Boland and is published by Hay House. The artwork is by Ali Vermilio, and it does have a beautiful rainbow on the box. That's a prism rather than, the traditional image of a rainbow, but I'm gonna go with it. And I really like it. I've etched mine in these light turquoise that I think matches the bags beautifully. I love those bags. And yeah, this is a deck that I always use for my moon readings. Right now, I have one card in all of my moon envelopes. Here you can see a rainbow. There is a card that matches the cover, but that one is actually in one of my envelopes. But I do like this deck. It is the only one of these creator that I actually use for readings. Like, I do have her other two oracles, the Moonology and the Moonology Manifestation, but those I use them as altar cards to follow the seasons, the phases of the moon. Sorry, and this is the only one that I use for reading. It has a keyword that is actually pretty useful, and I actually do enjoy the guidebook. So I like it. I've really been enjoying reading with these, and I think it pairs really beautifully with a lot of decks, especially collage decks, because this is a collage deck itself. And I quite like it. This is the one that matches the backs. How pretty is that? But yeah, I've been using it since last year. I think it came out last year or the year before. Can't say, can't remember. But yes, I do enjoy reading with this deck. Ta-da! I like it. And this is the last card that I have out of my envelopes. Today I'm also going to be filming the way that I do my moon readings, so stay tuned because that one is coming soon, probably on Wednesday, maybe. I can't say. But yeah, that's the Moonology Messages Oracle by Yasmin Boland. And so that is the end of this tag. Thank you so much, Angel, for creating such fun ones. I always do have a riot with your tags. So thank you so much for doing these. And thank you, everyone, for watching. I know that I tend to be very chatty and make very long videos, but thank you all for putting up with me. And thank you to everyone that actually takes the time to comment and to be lovely, telling me that you could hear me yapping for hours. It makes my day every time I see comments like that in my section. So thank you all for being here. Please like and subscribe to help me grow my channel. It's quick, it's easy, it's free, and it really does help to put my channel out there. So thank you very much for watching. Around the new moon in Virgo, I'm going to be launching my second channel. I've been sharing weekly readings on that channel, but I'm going to start posting videos around the Virgo new moon. It's called Guided by Your North Star, and it's going to be specifically for doing readings. I know that, most people that enjoy the videos on this channel will not necessarily want those reading cards videos. So I'm creating another channel for that. But thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you over there soon. If you'd like to support me as a creator, I have my Coffee link on the description box and on my bio as well. So yeah, just thank you so much for being here. There's more fun content to come, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.